What's up, everyone? This is Nate, and I'm back with another Out of the Theater review. Now, as I stated at the end of my last review, this week I was going to be checking out the latest in the Ghostbusters franchise, this one being called Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. And I just got home, and I'm going to give you my 2 cents. Now, before I do, if you would, please consider subscribing to the channel, and make sure you hit the bell icon. That way you get notified every time new videos drop. Every week, I do an Out of the Theater review for some new release, so if you're into those sorts of videos, make sure you subscribe. Also, leave me a thumbs up down below and leave me a comment. Did you see this movie? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Are you looking forward to it? Are you not looking forward to it? I want to know your thoughts. Okay, so I will admit I went into this blind. And I have seen all the Ghostbusters movies. I love the original. I think it is an 80s classic, fantastic, funny, great comedy with ghosts and supernatural elements. The sequels, really none of them have done much for me. I can't say that I hate them. I don't hate any of them, but they're not my cup of tea. Like, I really only love the first Ghostbusters, and the rest, they're fine. Like, they exist and they're okay. So that's kind of my history with this franchise. And I went in without reading any reviews. I have no idea what people are saying about this movie. I will probably read some reviews when I'm done making this video just to see what other people think. But I went in totally clean slate blind. Yeah, so let me start with the positives. I think number one, the movie looks good. I like the look of it. There's one shot early on in the film that's really cool. Follows one of our characters like in the apartment, and then like the apartment above the firehouse, and then down the fire pole, and the camera like goes in under the fire pole and stuff. Pretty cool. Gil Kenan was the director of this. He did the only movies I know from him is the Poltergeist remake. And I think he directed, what, Monster House? I want to say Monster House, the animated film. I'm pretty sure that was him. Other than that, I have no history with him. And I thought the direction was pretty solid overall. It looks good. The movie, you know, it's set in New York. Now, I remember they were saying they filmed a lot in London. There's no scenes in London. This whole entire movie takes place in New York. So they shot, for the most part, it feels good to have these characters back in New York. One of my problems with Afterlife was that I hated that it was like in Oklahoma or wherever it was. The Ghostbusters are very New York. The city is like a character in these movies. So it was cool to see them back there. So that was nice. The gadgets are cool. I know my partner here, Alex, and he's going to give a review, I'm sure. And he's a big fan of the franchise. The gadgets are cool. They have a couple of new like ghost traps that they use. They have a couple of new proton pack type things that they use. So that was pretty neat. They added some flair to like the Ecto-1, which was neat. So overall, like all that stuff is cool. Like all the surface level things are fine with this movie. Honestly, like it looks fine. The cast is good. The performances are fine. No problems there. On a technical level, I don't have issues. Well, that's not true. I have one. So let me get to the negatives. One, I didn't like the design of the monster in this. I thought he looked kind of cool at first, but the more they showed him, the less I liked it. It's just like a tall, skinny thing with a skinny head, and I was just like, I don't know. He didn't look scary to me. I didn't really like him. I thought like, not that Ghostbusters has a ton of scary looking things, but they have scarier looking things than this guy. So I didn't really like the design of him, but a lot of the design of the other ghosts and things like that I thought were pretty good. So yeah, on the negative side, this story, I had a lot of issues with it. I had a lot of issues, and this was the main reason that I ended up ultimately not enjoying this movie. First of all, the script it's not funny, and Afterlife also wasn't super funny, but you have Paul Rudd and you have Kumail Nanjiani, and I like both of those guys. In this movie, I probably chuckled maybe 5 or 6 times, honestly. Like, they got a few laughs, and they all came from them. Bill Murray, he's back, and like he doesn't really get any really great lines. Dan Aykroyd is back and is not funny at all. Like, he's just a serious like old guy now, and so like the humor wasn't there. Like, me and my cousin, we laugh a lot. We're like, love comedies and stuff, and it just was not that funny. I like my Ghostbusters. That's why I love the first one and even the second one, because they're funny, and this one not that funny. Also, there's so many subplots in this movie, and they go nowhere. Like, I won't do spoilers here, but I will say there's a subplot that involves the son and Slimer. It's a little bit in the trailer, and that ultimately goes nowhere. Phoebe, she is the main reason I did not like this movie. And I think I like the actress. I think she's good. And I liked her in Afterlife, actually. But here, what they decided to do with her character, I was not on board with. It might work for other people. I really did not like it. Some of the decisions she makes did not make sense. And I'm like, really? And then we have to, we have to just go along with it. And even with Kumail Nanjiani's character, like what he ultimately ends up being, by the end of it, I was just like, this is silly. But really the Phoebe stuff was what killed it for me, honestly. I think everything else was okay. There's too many characters, first of all. There's like 15 characters. And at one point when, like, as far as Ghostbusters, you have literally, I think it was like 11 or 12 characters in Ghostbusters suits. 10 of them, 10 had proton packs. I'm like, it's too many. It's way too many. So I don't know. I had a lot of problems with it, and I was kind of bored throughout a lot of it. Anytime they went with Phoebe on her little, like, subplot, I did not like it, and it's weird. And I will stop short. I'll just say it's weird. I found it weird. Because I can't do spoilers, so yeah, I was not a fan. And ultimately, she's kind of the heart of the movie. Her and really Ray. And Ray's stuff was fine, but I don't know. I wasn't digging her stuff. So overall, I'm going to have to give this movie like I thought, again, technically pretty good. A couple of chuckles, some nice nods to the old Ghostbusters movies. I wouldn't say it like, I don't think it overly relied on nostalgia or anything like that. But there's some nice nods, a good nod here and there. That's cool. It's a sequel. It's part of a franchise. But overall, I got to give this movie I'm going to give it a 5. I'm going to give it a 5. I'm sorry. It did not work for me. I did not think it was very good. There's elements of it that are cool, but I love a good story. I love characters, and I hated a lot of what the main character did in this movie. So it just irked me and I couldn't really get into it. So it was a 5 for me. Anyway, that's my review of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Next week, I'll be back with another Out of the Theater review, and I will be reviewing Godzilla X Kong, or Godzilla and Kong? The New Empire? Something like, well, I'm going to see the Godzilla and Kong movie. Until then, take it easy.